Chapter 2. Several days later, David was looking through Ebenezer's collection of books. One had a personal message on the inside of the cover. To my brother Ebenezer on his 5th birthday. My father wrote well, even though he was the younger brother, David thought proudly. Later he asked his uncle about this. Well, I was far more quick thinking than him. When I was young, I could read as soon as he could, the old man answered. Well, then how much older were you than him? David didn't finish his sentence. Ebenezer's face was red and he looked angry at first, then scared. Suddenly he grabbed David by his jacket. Why are you asking? He shouted. Take your hand away, David said, pulling at Ebenezer's arm. Ebenezer became calmer and his voice changed. Ah, Davy, you shouldn't ask me about your father. He was my only brother and now he's dead, he said. But he sounded as if he didn't really care, as if he were trying to fool David. David began to think more and more that his uncle had some dark secret. Something bad he didn't want anyone to know. Later on in the evening, Ebenezer smiled at David and said, I've something for you. I saved money for you right from your birth. After all this time, it was grown to 40 pounds. Here. And he handed the boy a bag full of golden coins. Such a big gift made David feel differently about his uncle. Perhaps he was wrong to think badly of him. No need to thank me, Davy, said Ebenezer. All I ask in return is your help around this big house. I'm getting old now. Certainly, uncle, said David and smiled. Well, then here's key to the tower at the far end of the house. At the top of the tower, you'll find a big chest. Bring it to me. Don't worry about the stairs. They are strong, said Ebenezer, and give him a key. When David reached the tower, it was night. He had no light to see by, so he began to walk by carefully. The stairs creaked and sometimes they shifted. As he stepped on them, he began to think badly of his uncle again. These stairs are dangerous, not safe, as the old man said. Why has he put me in such danger? Wondered the boy. He decided to get onto his hands and knees and crawl up. That way he would be safe. Halfway up, his hands felt only empty space. The stairs were unfinished. His uncle had sent him there, hoping he would fall and die. Trembling with fear and danger, David turned around carefully. Going down, at last he reached the bottom without injury. He wiped the sweat from his forehead and stood still until he stopped trembling. Then he made his way to the kitchen. Ebenezer cried in fear when he saw David and fell to the floor. David grabbed him, shouting, So you thought I would trust you and just keep walking blindly up those stairs? You were wrong. I want answers now. What are you hiding from me, and why did you try to kill me? Ah, David, let me go, said the old man. I've a weak heart and I can't talk now. I'll answer you in the morning. David looked at him. He did look sick. Very well, rest till the morning then, but I'll lock you in your bedroom for my safety. Now it's your turn to be locked in, he said, and dragged Ebenezer to his bedroom. After he had locked him in, he went back to the kitchen. He was still angry and his mind was full of questions about his uncle. He sat at the table thinking, what was the secret he was hiding? Why had he tried to kill David? Was it something that had to do with his father? In the morning, he unlocked Ebenezer's door. Ebenezer said, Well, Davy, just let me have some breakfast and I'll explain everything. So the two went in the kitchen where they had some porridge. Then there was a knock at the door. There stood a young boy in sea clothes. Hello, he said. My name is Ransom and I have a letter for Mr. Ebenezer. Balfour from Captain Hoseason. Ebenezer read the letter, then gave it to David to read. Captain Hoseason, then staying at the Hose Inn, had business to discuss with Ebenezer and his lawyer, Mr. Rankeler. Davy, I've money business with this captain, Ebenezer said. His ship, the Covenant, is docked at Queen's Ferry. Now let me see him, and afterwards we could both go and see the lawyer. Rankeler is much respected around here, and he'll explain everything to you. David thought about this. Is this another trick? Even so, there will be many people around, and it will be hard for my uncle to try to kill me. So David agreed to go, and the three of them set out in the early morning cold. When they reached Hosen, Ransom took them upstairs to Captain Hoseason's room. He was a big man with a beard, and he was wearing a thick sea jacket. It was very warm in the room, and soon David left the two men talking and went outside to the wharf. He stood there admiring the Covenant. When he returned to the inn, he talked to the innkeeper. He told David that Ebenezer had an elder brother, and there was a story that Ebenezer had killed him to get the house. Everyone says Ebenezer was always greedy. He stored his money, never shared it, and didn't spend much on himself. Said the man, Well, young man, what I've heard is that he and his brother agreed that Ebenezer would stay in Shaw's house for a while. The older brother had business elsewhere and lived further away. He came back one day and said he now needed the house. He had a family to take care of. Well, people say that as they were walking around the land, Ebenezer pushed him down a hill and he broke his neck. Ebenezer said it was an accident, but people around here know him too well, and no one believes it was an accident. The brother's wife left Shaw's and never returned. People say she was so sad because of her husband's death that she got sick herself and died. That's how things stayed in Ebenezer's hands. David felt sad and confused, so he had been right to guess his uncle had a secret, and it did involve David's father. The old man had tried to kill him too, to make sure that Shaw's house would be his forever. But there was no proof of all this. What should I do? Thought David. At that moment his uncle and the Hoseason came downstairs. The captain said to him, Your uncle says good things about you, David. I hear you like ships. I would like to show you mine. So, what do you say? David hesitated, but the captain seemed a good, helpful man, and he did want to see the ship more closely. So David agreed, and the three walked onto the ship. Sailors were working busily all over the ship, preparing it to leave. Suddenly David felt worried and turned around. Where is my uncle? He said. Then he saw Ebenezer walking down the plank to the wharf. The old man smiled cruelly at David. Suddenly the boy felt a blow to his head, and he fell down.